Imagine if your life was a picture book, a series of pictures of highs and lows. Some are fuzzy, and some you don't want to spend too much time looking at. Then you find yourself looking at empty pages and realize there are more pictures to come. It's about the purpose devotionals. Hello, welcome to another episode of the Purpose Devotionals. My name is Natalie, and I would like to call this segment the Purpose Corner, where we just have like discussions about things that are happening and discussions about what we believe that God is doing, especially in this time, which is not like any other. Did we receive any preparation for it? I don't know, you tell me, right? So I want to start off by talking about a topic that I feel like has been just really ringing, especially this week personally. And I think that when situations keep coming up and you get like, I wouldn't say situations actually, let me change that. I would actually say when messages keep coming up and just ringing almost in your ear where you feel like it's something that keeps getting repeated. I think it's worth paying attention to them, to be honest, because um, it's not for nothing, basically, right? There's something beyond where we are. There's a life after death for those that are in Christ Jesus, and I strongly believe that. And we're living in an era where it's just becoming very different to what, especially for me, to what I grew up in. Um, and maybe for many of you, or maybe you haven't even realized that anything has changed really. Maybe you're just kind of like, well, my life has been the same 5, 10 years ago, it's still the same thing. If anything, to my observation, I would say within the past 10 years, things have like drastically changed. So the topic I wanted to talk about is, just clear my throat, would be to basically, if you do nothing, life will pass you by. And I'm not completely here to talk about my dreams, but I wanted to mention that that was a message that I had received in my previous dreams where, where there's times where you feel like, you know what, I just want to do nothing. And I'm not talking about like just running everywhere just to be busy. That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is just kind of sitting there almost like, time is passing by where you know that you could be using your time more effectively, but you're just kind of, you don't really feel like doing anything, or you may be going through a tough time, or you may be feeling kind of low in spirit, and you feel like I've had enough, I feel like giving up and all of that stuff. And this is the stage that I feel like a lot of us go through, even the ones that are like, I don't go through these things. I don't know whether to believe that, but I feel like it's a process, and especially when you're walking with the Lord, I believe that it's a bigger process because you're being molded into a person that He called you as, right? And I really wanted to insert that because this whole podcast, this Purpose Corner, is called Purpose for a reason. And the reason why is because everybody has been called for a purpose, which is why you will notice some people have certain gifts in areas where others don't. Uh, you'll realize how maybe someone will just catch an idea, so to speak. They'll probably be like, I have an idea to do this. And it turns out really successful. And they turn out to be like the only one in that kind of corner or that niche that is successful. So I honestly believe that everyone's been called for something, but the thing is, the journey is, are you going to get to that? Are you going to get to that purpose? And how are you going to get to that purpose? And I also believe, side note, that there's a reason why these motivational speakers are popular, because everyone's kind of hungry for something, right? You may not know what you're hungry for. You may not know why you want to hear someone kind of, pump you up and say, yeah, like, you can do it. You could do anything you want. You know, you're a winner. You're the head and not the tail. I'm added Bible verses, you know, because people want to hear that because it's speaking to their nature. It's speaking to what they know inside that, you know what, my life could be better. You know, if it wasn't the case, you wouldn't testify it as that, right? You know that you could be doing better. You know that, you know, the feeling that where you are now is not necessarily a place that you should be calling home. But then the question is, why are you calling it home, right? And a lot of factors play into it. It could be the environment, it could be the friends you have, it could be the job you have or the job that you don't have. It could be your daily routine, what time you wake up. Do you go to the gym? Do you not? Do you pray? Do you meditate on the word of God? All these things now play a part to the decisions you make, whether you execute these decisions. Because it's really easy to say, I want to have a big house or I want to start a big successful company. But the question is, how are you going to do it? What are the steps? So the final step would be you want a successful company. Have you determined what does that success look like? Is it lots of money? Is it lots of employees? What is it? Right? And it's good actually to have a goal to say, I want my own house. I want a house on the hill or whatever it is, wherever you're located. But whether you execute it or not, that's a whole different story, right? And why is it? It's because it takes more, it takes steps, it takes commitment to continue on that path. And many people, you know, halfway to that journey jump off. And when I say jump off, it's almost like you can imagine that you're on a bus and, you know, people, you know, get off at different stops. So it could be a stop before your actual stop and you may be like, you know what, I don't know whether this is going to happen. So maybe I should just kind of leave it here and just do something else without actually knowing what would have happened if you had pursued this calling, you know, and this purpose that God has for you. And I'm talking to believers, non-believers alike. I believe that you're still called, whether you think that you fit somewhere or you don't. It's just, again, the question is, you know, are you going to reach that calling? And that's why I had the title of, if you do nothing, life will pass you by. And it's legit because, you know, time is passing by, but we're also in an era where we have so many, like, we have social media where we can watch stuff. So TV has gone from being like in the TV room, in the living room, or in your bedroom or wherever. It's there too, but you can watch it on your phone, which means you can literally take something that can distract you everywhere you go. Which is nuts. When I think about it, it's kind of crazy because it's I think that it's, you know, it's convenient and we're moving into an area, or we already are in an era where we're trying to look for things that are just convenient for us. But are we looking for convenience, or are we looking for something that will really challenge us to grow in the calling that we have? And I wanted to read a passage from Jeremiah. And if you don't know this, the book of Jeremiah, it's Jeremiah chapter 20, verse 9. And the reason why I would like to read this is because I find it so interesting that he was not only called when he was a child and very young, he was called by God when he felt like he wasn't worthy, where he felt like there was lots of other people that were better than him, that would better suit the calling. I don't know if you're in that situation, but if you are, try to read that chapter because you see the journey that God takes him through. But all it took for him was for him to say, essentially to say yes. For him to say, you know what, I am willing to go through this process in order to get to the destination, because no one said it was going to be easy. Whoever said it was going to be easy, it's not the case. Everyone has a story. And another side note is, your story is not identical to someone else's. Your story is unique to yourself. It's a journey you are taking. And if you're willing to take that, especially with the Lord, the burden it becomes more balanced because he helps you. So it's Jeremiah chapter 20 verse 9, and basically he's just kind of going back and forth talking to himself, and he's saying, so he's been called as a prophet. So he's saying, you know what, he's been talking, the results he's seeing is not what he had expected. People are resisting him just based on what he's saying, right? He's there prophesying, telling people just truths, and people don't want to hear it. So then I read from verse 9. It says, but if I say I will not mention his word or speak anymore in his name, his word is in my heart like a fire shut up in my bones. I am weary of holding it in. Indeed, I cannot. And I find that so powerful, because it's like he's saying, like, I'm struggling with this. You know, I know I should be doing more. I know that there's things that has been prepared for me. I know that I should be in a better situation, but I'm trying to dim it down, but it's not happening. It's almost like this calling is like burning within me, and I need to do it. And it's kind of a decision on, okay, do I do it? Okay, let me take that leap. But he's saying it's wearying me. So if that's a word, but he's saying it's making me weary, almost like him knowing that he should be doing something, but not, and then sitting on it is making him weary. So then it's almost like he's saying, so in order to jump from being weary, let me do it, because I cannot hold it in. And for some of you, you may be feeling that, where it's like, I know I should be doing this, I know I should be doing that, I know I should be doing more, and me not doing it is making me weary, and I cannot hold it. But like, how do I take that leap? And I just wanted to just encourage you at this, like, you know, as a final thing, is to make a step. It's not where today you're here, tomorrow you're there. Yes, it can happen, but you need to make a step. That's where your focus needs to be. Make a step. What's the first step? Is it writing down notes? How am I going to go about this? Is it setting out a schedule? Are you someone that needs to be scheduled, right? Some people can be like, today I'm going to do this, 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 and this, and there's nothing on paper, where others, they need to kind of really visualize it and really see, this is the plan that I have. Whatever works, I really want to encourage you to take a step and to really do it. And for me personally, even filming this video and speaking, that's me, myself, taking a step. Everyone's on a journey. The question is, will you reach that purpose that God has for you? And that's all I have to say. God bless you. Take care. Bye.